Everyone, welcome to the show. I have several updates to share about the Joel Greenberg case, including a recent indictment of one of his former friends and an alleged pay for play scheme that he recently exposed, and the fact that his attorney said that the Gaetz case is not closed. And I'm going to share with you guys why I agree with him and why I now believe that Gaetz allies may have actually leaked that recent story about his case. So here's the deal. Here's what's going down. A former associate of Greenberg has been indicted on 5 counts of fraud. Michael Shirley was arrested at the end of August. He's accused of grifting off of taxpayers and then giving kickbacks to Greenberg. So what happened was Shirley's company was hired by Greenberg on the same day that Greenberg took office as the Seminole County tax collector. This was January 3rd of 2017. In addition to receiving $12,500 a month as a consulting fee for literally doing nothing, Shirley also allegedly submitted invoices to Greenberg. He would give him these invoices for goods and services with markups, they said, of up to 90% above the actual cost or rate. So Greenberg would pay him with taxpayer funds, by the way, and then Shirley would give him a little bit of that money back to say thank you. So he allegedly used Greenberg's other friend, Joe Ellicott, as an intermediary. So this wouldn't look too suspicious. Instead of giving the money directly to Greenberg, he used Ellicott, and that's how the money would exchange hands. Well, Ellicott is also facing his own charges as the fallout from Greenberg continues. So he's facing up to 20 years in prison. And he cooperated with the prosecutor in the Shirley case. He's also said to be cooperating in other investigations that have sprung out of the Greenberg case. So Ellicott is scheduled to be sentenced this month. So it's going to be really interesting to see who else might be indicted after that. As for the Shirley guy, he received, check this out, guys, nearly $500,000 through this scheme. And he's also facing decades in prison for this. So, he better also have some dirt on some bigger fish. So I'm going to keep you guys in the loop on all of that, on both of them. Next up is an alleged pay-for-play scheme. Greenberg, as I mentioned to you guys recently, he testified under oath with the prosecutors who are looking into all kinds of things, including the fake candidate case. And he told them that a former water management official was taking bribes in exchange for basically rubber stamping questionable permits. The man in question is John Miklos, and he was the chairman of the St. Johns River Water Management District Board. This is in Florida. He was this board chairman up until 2019. In sworn testimony to the investigators, Greenberg said, quote, "Let's say a development project is not approved to be built because there are environmental issues. Miklos would get greased off or something, and then they would all magically be approved. And this was rinse and repeat what they would do." So this was an ongoing thing, according to Greenberg. Environmental groups are now calling for the county manager to halt the, quote, "evaluation process for any development which involves findings or opinions from Mr. Miklos." And then they're also asking for a review of any previously approved developments that were evaluated by Miklos or his company, which is called Biotech Consulting. They also are saying, not just in this county, like statewide, they want to know everything he reviewed. But the acting county manager told the Orlando Sentinel they have no plans to do that. They're just going to let this slide, it seems. And guess who this Miklos guy supports? Since 2016, he's contributed $53,000 to Ron DeSantis directly and different fundraising groups for Ron DeSantis. And he gave $1,000 to Jason Brodeur, which might sound familiar to you guys. He's one of the state reps accused of knowing about a fake candidate scheme to swing the race in his favor. So they're all connected, and they're all accused scumbags. My final update is about something that Greenberg's attorney, Fritz Scheller, told NBC News. In regard to that recent report that I shared with you guys, the Justice Department isn't planning to indict Matt Gaetz, Scheller said, quote, "While one could hesitate to draw a conclusion from a single news story, my hesitation stems from a different source, my knowledge of the evidence in this matter. But to be perfectly cryptic, to the extent the government considers this matter closed, I do not." So that's interesting, right? If anyone would know what all the DOJ has on Gaetz, it's Greenberg and his attorney. Remember, Greenberg's attorney said at the beginning all of this that Gaetz should be nervous based on what he knows, based on what Greenberg knows. And it makes me wonder if Greenberg maybe plans to sue Gaetz for defamation, because Gaetz has been talking shit about him and calling Greenberg a liar in the media, and his representatives have all been calling Greenberg a liar. When there's documents, when there's payments being made, when you have enough documentary evidence, it doesn't matter who your witnesses are. And here's why I agree with Scheller and why I'm now thinking that maybe it was Gaetz's allies who purposely leaked that story about Gaetz not being charged. I mean, the obvious reason is the midterms coming up. You know, this has been hanging over Gaetz's head for quite a while now, almost 2 full years. But we have to remember, there's also a lot of other people who face very serious criminal liability, just like Greenberg and just like Gaetz, not just in regard to these alleged sex and drug parties and paid escorts and possibly underage girls, but other crimes that have been rumored to have taken place throughout Florida or even other states, things that are under investigation right now. So it's in their best interest to undermine the credibility of Greenberg or any other witnesses, any of these girls, any of these women. And Greenberg knows where all the bodies are buried. So it's in all of their best interests to keep reminding a potential jury pool that he has a history of lying. It's a sneaky, almost arm's length way of tainting the jury pool even before charges have been filed. And keep this in mind as well. The DOJ has not formally closed the Gaetz investigation. That was confirmed by an attorney representing one of the witnesses. And as other people have pointed out, when you're dealing with criminal activity and corruption, yeah, you're likely dealing with less than ideal model citizen witnesses. Just like when the prosecutors are bringing a case against the mob, their witnesses are often liars, criminals, maybe even murderers. So I don't buy it. I'm not buying this whole thing about them just shutting this down and they're not going to charge Gaetz. I don't buy it. In my opinion, it ain't over till Gaetz's gigantic cranium sings. That's all I got to say. Anyway, guys, when I hear more, I will let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.